How else can we explain these terrible deaths? Vampires are at large, I tell you. Vampires.
Malignant demons who issue forth from their graves in the dead of night. Are these human vampires or bats?
Vampires can take the shape of a human or a bat.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me.
Dracula, the most fearsome name in any language. The most feared being ever to haunt the living.
I am Dracula. A moment ago, I stumbled upon a most amazing phenomenon. Something so incredible, I mistrust my own judgment. Look.
Now, you see, I'm 30 years here in America, and 8 months ago, I was called to come to England to revive the American version of Dracula.
Doesn't Dracula ever end for you?
No. Dracula never ends. I don't know whether I shall call it a fortune or a course, but it never ends. I don't know whether I shall brag or complain about it, but Dracula is the only picture in existence in all the world, which since it is revived, since it is made in 31, it is the only picture which is revived in every city in America every year.
Well, you know, some people, Bela, would consider that a curse, and some would consider it a very good omen, because probably as a result of Dracula, you
make a living.
Well, and you were typecast.
Dracula. The very mention of the name brings to mind things so evil, so fantastic, so degrading. You wonder if it isn't all a dream.
Rats. Thousands. Millions of them.
But no, this is no dream. This is Dracula, the original terrifying story of a maniac and a man who lived after death, lived on human blood, took the form of a vampire bat.
Dracula? Oh, what's he done to you, Tate? Tell me.
He came to me. He opened the vein in his arm, and he made me drink.
Count Dracula sleeps in this coffin, but rises every night at sunset. Chick is right. This is awful silly stuff.
Come on, take it all out.
Wow!
out! Chick! Cover up! What's the matter? Cover up! Wait a minute.
The nation's top comics, Abbott and Costello. Petrified, but hilariously.
Stop!
Plus the dangerous and terrifying Wolfman, played by Chaney. Plus that fiend out of a nightmare, the vampire Batman, Count Dracula, played by Bela Lugosi.
Dracula the terrifying, the feared, who sleeps in the tombs of the dead by day and arises at night to inflict his terror upon the innocent and the unsuspecting.
You must help me. You must. You're my only hope. You must.
I'll help you.
Indeed, Christopher Lee has loomed all 6 feet 4 inches of him through the prize horror roles since he first lurched into dominance as the monster in The Curse of Frankenstein. Little wonder that this genuinely scholarly and mild-mannered gentleman, fluent in 8 languages and deriving his descent from one of the oldest Italian noble families, has been crowned Prince of Terror. He defers graciously to the late Boris Karloff as king. At home in London with his wife, actress Birgit, and 9-year-old daughter, Christina, the aura of monstrosity is much diminished. Even the prince must be up and out into the frosty crack of foggy dawn for another meeting with the unrelenting Van Helsing and his ubiquitous steak. It's enough to give a vampire heartburn. Director Gibson shows him how to do it. He's had several tries, you'll remember. Maybe he'll do the job right this time. After all those monsters Christopher Lee has played, Fu Manchu, the Mummy, Dr. Jekyll, Frankenstein, his favorite, and that of audiences around the world, is still the Count with the Curious Taste.
This is not Lucy, the sister you loved. It's only a shell, possessed and corrupted by the evil of Dracula.
How do you destroy a fiend who has so far proven himself indestructible? Those who come to end his reign of terror stay to become his victim.
Castle Dracula is somewhere here in Klausenberg. Will you tell me how I get there?
You ordered a meal, sir. As an innkeeper, it's my duty to serve you. When you've eaten, I ask you to go and leave us in peace.
This is the doctor who dares to challenge the vampire Dracula. This is the anguished man who fears for the lives of his beloved, the girl who is his sister, and the one that is his wife. Dracula, the bedeviled master of all that is evil.
I've been to the country where he lived. I have been to the ruins of his castle. I have seen the monasteries and been there that he endowed. And I can assure every one of you who is listening or who is watching that Dracula did exist.
Beware of pity for the handsome prisoner in the Castle Meister. Beware of love, for in your heart is only the pulsating throb of terror. Starring Peter Cushing as the Doctor locked in mortal combat with overwhelming evil.
Also starring Frida Jackson as Greta, who served the vampires with insane loyalty.
You needn't be afraid. She's dead.
Martita Hunt, the Baroness, victim of her own son. France's latest sex kitten as Marianne, whose beauty was her passport to the twilight world of the undead. David Beal as the Baron, blindingly handsome. Yet his kiss transformed the most beautiful girls into monsters.
Coffin could ever hold him. No door could ever bar his way. He is back from the dead.
Count Dracula is alive.
Dracula has risen from the grave. Dracula, the most fearsome name in any language. The most feared being ever to haunt the living.
There's a girl.
Maria?
Bring her to me. During the hours of darkness, she must never be left alone. Bring her to me!
Christopher Lee, Rupert Davis, Veronica Carlson, Hammer's new star discovery, Dracula's most beautiful victim. Dracula has risen from the grave. To resist him is useless. To rise against him is futile. To know him is eternal damnation. Dracula has risen from the grave.
Not since Dracula stalked the earth has the world known so terrifying a day or night.
It is I who renounce you, and in the name of Satan I place a curse upon you.
Black Sunday is like no motion picture you've ever seen. There are those who believe and those who do not. But both must know the suspense, the shock of meeting the living dead and of bringing the dead to life.
Look into my eyes. Embrace me. You will die, but I can bring you pleasures mortals cannot know.
Black Sunday, the most terrifying motion picture you'll ever see. Satan, wearing strange robes and fighting with all the furies of Hades,
rouses the countryside to a frenzy of black terror.
You will freeze as you watch a warped scientist become transformed into a godless beast when his bloody scalpel probes the forbidden secrets of a woman's flesh. In Atom Age Vampire, you will flame to the stark ritual of a beautiful girl's last searing dance. As tragedy forever mars her loveliness, leaving her to face a world of terror.
I give you my word that I will restore your face. Restore all your beauty.
You will cringe as the demented doctor experiments with a girl's trusting innocence. But to possess the living miracle wrought by his twisted genius, he must forever sacrifice his soul to the cunning gods of evil.
I'll transplant directly from another human being.
A mad creature born of the atomic age, now shackled to a world of rotting bodies and violent death. A sadist, a criminal, a depraved animal, more ferocious than Jekyll, more monstrous than Frankenstein, more bloody than Dracula.
Fire a volley through the window pane.
You will gasp as lust and madness stalk the dark and screaming night.
Scientists will still be searching for the mysteries of the unknown.
We have amazing news for you. It turns out they landed on Phobos.
Who's they?
The astronauts from the other planet. The rescue ship landed here, and one of them is alive.
You understand how important it is to keep her well and to bring her back with you safely.
What evil power pulsates the strange ovum the Queen is trying to smuggle to Earth?
We can't let these creatures breed on Earth.
Alan, that's not for us to decide.
Queen of Blood. A tantalizing, mystifying enigma.
She's gorged herself of fresh blood. She's a monster.
We have a good supply of blood plasma with us. We'll use that to feed her.
And if we run out of plasma, Commander?
No one leave. No one let your power. We will not stop until we have discovered the vampires who seek the life of this beautiful girl and her lover. Watch out! They may be hovering over you, or you, or you! Danger stalks through the night. No one is safe.
Their fury would follow us to the ends of the earth. No, we must destroy them all together.
I hereby summon to this place next week every person within the sound of my voice. You shall be judges of this eerie conspiracy. Here we shall meet Lionel Barrymore, Elizabeth Allen, Bela Lugosi, Jean Herschel, Lionel Atwill. Mark of the Vampire.
Now, more real, more terrifying than ever before. Dracula, Prince of Darkness, King of the Vampire. For 10 years, his mortal remains were cherished by his faithful servant, awaiting a victim to provide the life force for the reincarnation of Dracula. A strange premonition warns the guests at Castle Dracula that their host is ready to receive them.
I must kill him. He is already dead. He is undead, Mr. Kent. He can be destroyed, but not killed.
Where's Charles?
You don't need Charles.
I see you marrying a corpse, living in a grave.
The vampire can assume very many different forms at will. Sometimes it appears as a bat, and sometimes as a small cloud of swirling vapor. In this way, it can move unseen among its enemies.
Son of Dracula, searing the screen with new terror in this weird tale of the living dead who rise from the grave at night to prey on unsuspecting victims. With Louise Albritton, Robert Page, Evelyn Ankers, Frank Craven, J. Edward Bromberg, and Lon Chaney as the new Count Dracula, you'll shudder at the screen's most fascinating woman vampire, luring men with cold beauty and the promise of immortality.
Count Alucard is immortal. Through him, I attained immortality. Through me, you will do the same.
I'm going to repay you for betraying me.
You didn't know what you were doing.
But I did. I wanted to kill. I think they're after Dracula.
See, before you, a man who lived for centuries, kept alive by the blood of innocent people.
When the full moon rises, I turn into a werewolf, with only one desire, to kill.
My blood is contaminated with the blood of Dracula.
Sanders, look at me. What do you see in my eyes?
Death.
Do you like jewels, Lily? This is very old and very beautiful. Please don't come any closer. Pulse is weak, Dr. Goss. Growing weaker. All your skill can't help her now. She's under a spell that can be broken only by me. Or death. I am Dracula's daughter.
A young couple in love. Enjoying a romantic honeymoon. Enjoying the pleasure of each other's company. Knowing the sublime happiness of the kiss of love. But the kiss of love is a stranger here, where only evil is good, and the only kiss, the kiss of the vampire.
You know what a vampire is?
Yes. I've heard of vampire bats.
No, not bats. Vampires. Human vampires.
The Kiss of the Vampire is a spine-chilling drama of two young people who strayed by chance into a nightmare in a twilight world of terror.
I want you to initiate Mr. Harcourt into our society. Do you understand what I mean?
Take Nikki away. Her soul will wander through the night, and you will never find where her body rests.
Nikki, come to me.
That wasn't a man. That was a wolf.
And never a woman who loved like this. Her schizophrenic embraces making corpses of her lovers. Their bodies savagely scarred by her flesh-ripping claws. The vampire beast craves blood.
Nothing I can do. He's dead.
All of her victims are men, whom this psycho fiend has to have to satisfy her desperate, inhuman hunger for a love mate.
Look at that moon. Does it make you feel romantic?
No man is immune to her irresistible lure. No man can survive her insatiable lust for blood. Because she's something more than mortal woman. She's the incarnation of evil.
It was a horrible creature, sir. With huge eyes, sir. Oh, with the wings. The wings, sir.
The vampire beast craves blood.
I'm going to destroy you both.
The
But there's no escape from the diabolical power that turns this beautiful woman into a giant death's head killer. Terrifying creature of murder and horror. The vampire beast craves blood.
Dracula's blood.
This way, gentlemen. We know the way.
These men thought they had tasted all that life had to offer. Ready when you are, gentlemen.
Would you be willing to sell your souls to the devil?
If one thought that one's experience might be extended.
It would be extended to infinity.
There's someone there. Dracula is back to choose his human victims. Alice.
Who are you? How do you know my name?
Dracula is back to select his companions in darkness, who must die that he may live. If you shock easily, stay away. She's neither dead nor alive.
Lucy! 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 Paxton! Paxton, listen to me! The marks on her neck! She's a vampire!
Prepare yourself. Every nerve, every muscle. No. Prepare yourself for the greatest shock of all.
There are mysteries in the world of which we know little. Strange, frightening, whispered from generation to generation until they become a scream out of the past. Woman of flesh becomes a mistress of the Death Master, sharing his hunger for souls, his thirst for human blood.
Enjoyed your little joke last night, Doctor. But as you can see, tonight is mine.
Incredible. You really are a
Vampire? Yes.
Driven by the forbidden cravings of another world, they band together as his slaves. It happened to them. It could happen to you.
Welcome to the most exclusive finishing school in Europe, where the quest for knowledge continues long into the night. The very thought of vampires makes your flesh creep.
We call them the undead, sir. They're vampires.
If you think all vampires are ugly creatures of the night, then you're in for a shattering surprise.
Turn now this fresh, warm blood into a body of thy making.
You see, I have studied your magic. I know the black art, and I want only to know more and more.
Here, the masters are quick to recognize an outstanding pupil.
The portrait of Camilla Karnstein. Died 1710. And you know who the portrait was of, Mircalla?
Evidence? Of what?
That you are a vampire.
Welcome to the finishing school, where they really do finish you.
More horror, more screams, and more fright than your wildest nightmares in Frankenstein's Bloody Terror. An all-new Super Shocker filmed in Chillerama 70mm and gory color. Now meet the Wolf Monster, a slashing, inhuman creature who prowls by night for new victims. Its terror beyond your most fearsome imagination as vampires, using the powers of witchcraft, summon the hideous Wolf Monster. Don't miss Frankenstein's Bloody Terror.
Last time, you'll remember, he got a stake through his vampire's heart. And that would have been the end of Dracula if this bunch of rotten kids hadn't raised him from the grave with their satanic invocations for Dracula AD 1972. And all they get for their trouble is a lot of fangs right in the neck. Welcome back, Drac. Dracula, AD 1972.
Black Prince, I curse you with my name. You shall be Blackula.
Blackula, the Black Avenger, rising from his tomb to fill the night with horror. Blackula, Dracula's soul brother, deadlier even than he. Warm young bodies will feed his hunger. Hot, fresh blood will quench his awful thirst.
What do you think of vampires?
More horrifying than Dracula. Blackula.
Satan is coming on the devil's wedding night. Diabolic demons delirious with desire. Dark desire lures the village virgins to the castle of carnal craving. Tiptoe through terror while Satan sleeps. When the devil wakes, death rises. The legions of Lucifer unleashed. Death dwells in the domain of dark dreams. Satan is coming on the devil's wedding night. Come along.
Human, half wild animal, destroying beautiful women, out to satisfy its unholy lust for blood. Attacks, vanishes, leaving only the mark of the most terrifying human beast of prey.
Men covering the whole town. If he sticks to his pattern, someone will die tonight.
The satanic forces of hell break loose as the vampire killer, defies all.
How much shock can you take? It will haunt you forever. From the depths of evil comes a diabolic killer of beautiful women. The vampire's coffin. See a vampire's body stolen from its tomb. A psycho killer removes the stake so the vampire can again prey on beautiful women. It's in the vampire's coffin. Presented in Hypnoscope.
Two tiny punctures of the external jugular vein, right side. Any blood? No, that's the strange part. No evidence of bleeding.
This medallion, composed of horrors unimaginable, paints the secret heart of Sandra Harrison with the blood of Dracula, and possesses the mad mind of Louise Lewis with dreams of limitless powers.
I can release a destructive power in a human being that would make the split atom seem like a blessing.
A woman overfull with fantasies of terror, stimulating young girls beyond any reasonable control, piercing the earth's crust to make black magic with the blood of Dracula. Transforming a young girl's love into terrifying bloodlust.
Symptoms are identical. 2 incisions of the jugular vein.
Well, is the killer human or animal?
Dracula.
Undead are my allies. The night is my domain, and the dark, dank tomb my dwelling place. I feast on human blood. May be yours, so beware. Beware.
Brand new. Beyond the grave comes the dreaded Dracula, as paralyzing fear turns to hypnotic fascination.
You will do as I say.
Yes.
I bring you death, a living death. One drop of your blood and you're bound to me.
Jenny Blake's soul must be freed, Doctor. And all of the souls of her victims, if any.
But how?
With a pointed stake right through the heart. He's gone.
House of dark shadows. Where death is a way of life.
Good evening. I'm Barnabas Collins. If I didn't see you with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it.
Barnabas Collins, head of a family of blood relations.
Julia, do you believe in the existence of vampires?
You're not really serious.
But he is, Julia. Carolyn didn't believe in vampires either. Now she is one.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me.
Stay away from me! You're dead!
Barnabas Collins, vampire, takes a bride in a bizarre act of unnatural love. Come and see how the vampires do it. House of Dark Shadows.
Come with us if you dare, into a twilight world of unspeakable horror.
You must die. Everybody must die.
Sample, if you dare, the deadly passion of the vampire lovers. The vampire lovers. Perverted creatures of the night find their victims everywhere. The unsuspecting merrymakers in glittering ballrooms with their young and tender throats. The sleeping beauties whose troubled dreams turn into real, terrifying nightmares.
It was a cat! A huge cat!
For God's sake, save her!
No escape till their evil hearts are stilled for all eternity. If one remains, yes, even one, there will be thousands more. Beware. Beware the cold caress, the kiss that kills. Beware the vampire lovers.
Dracula's reign of horror reaches out even further. A winged creature of terror becomes Dracula's most fearsome new ally. Enter Dracula's stronghold at your peril. There is one way into his innermost sanctum.
Hey! Help! Help me!
One way in and no way out. There is no escape from the creature that extends his power. There is no escape, not even for the protected, from the scars of Dracula.
Take her with you. You'll do terrible things to her if you don't. Terrible things.
Who says Vampires are no laughing matter. They certainly are. The fearless vampire killers, or, pardon me, but your teeth are in my neck. Jack McGarrett, Sharon Tate, two men on a vampire hunt. Simple? They certainly are.
In the 18th century in Central Europe, a black terror swept across the face of the land. The curse of vampirism, which had been a half-forgotten memory for hundreds of years, returned with a fury that struck unholy fear into the hearts of every man, woman, and child. One man dared to make a stand against this evil epidemic. One man dared to hurl a challenge of cold steel against the terror of the undead. He was Captain Kronos, vampire hunter.
It is commonly supposed that a vampire attacks in only one way, by biting the neck and draining the victim of blood. The girls you spoke of, they were not drained of blood, but of youth, of life itself. You see? He's been bitten on the mouth. God's sake, I survived a vampire's bite. He is not the man you are.
I'm doomed. My soul a never-ending torment.
Kill me!
Her life will be yours. Yours. Her youth will pulse through your veins, my darling. Replenishing, restoring. Take her.
At your service, sir. To the death.
Yes, you bleed, my lord. This is God's blade. Forged for your black heart.
Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing together in Count Dracula and his vampire bride. The king of the undead marries the queen of the zombies.
On this, the eve of the Sabbath of the undead, I call upon you to witness my supreme triumph. Van Helsing, the body of your granddaughter will never be corrupted.
and the devil himself is exorcised.
My revenge has spread over centuries and has just begun!
Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing, the ultimate horror is revealed as the two masters of menace grapple for the souls of the living and the dead.
With your help and participation, we will call back the living dead. Call back Dracula. Now, call his name with me. Dracula.
Dracula is back. Back because you have called him. So that you may never, ever forget what you have done. You will now be sworn in as honorary members in that most ancient and noble order, the Count Dracula Society. Further, you will hereinafter and forever be sworn to serve the thirsty Count. Raise your left hand. No, your left hand. Now, repeat after me. I do hereby swear, aver, and depose that I will hereinafter assist all the efforts of the Count Dracula Society so long as they remain consistent with the loyalties of a good American. And in sign whereof, I will receive all privileges thereto. So help me, Christopher Lee.